It's so key when trading Forex to know what your plan is before you place a trade. I wanted to show you guys this trade that I have on and walk you through the entry as well as kind of how we're managing this trade, because it's really interesting what we're seeing price do right now. Take a look at this green candle that we just saw form in the previous hourly bar, followed by right now we're seeing a basically erasing that move, coming back down really hard. And I wanted to show you guys this example because I think it's a good way for me to show you what maybe a good trade management system for me looks like. Now, this is something that I've been doing for a long time. My trading style is fairly low win rate, but has a lot of potential for really big winners. And I'll clarify that a little bit, but let me show you something. First, let me clarify the entry. Here's where I got in. You can see my order here on Oanda. I got in, very small position, by the way, only 32,000 units, which is much smaller than my usual trade size. But I had some other trades on, so I didn't want to take a bunch of risk at one time. So anyways, currently, the stop loss is locked at break even or better. We've locked in a little bit of profit there. And I wanted to show you guys why I think I'm going to trail stops further and where I'm going to do that. So we had a downward trend, like this market, really nice movement to the downside. If you were in that sell, you can see that's clear, just distribution. The market is just following through on its moves, which is exactly what we look for when in a seller's market. Well, we got this little pop here and I said, hey, you know what? I think that this is worth taking a little bit of a risk on. So I shorted here at resistance. So let's go ahead and mark up the chart here first, and then I'll tell you guys where I think we're going with the trade, as well as how I'm going to manage this trade, just to give you a picture of what it looks like. So I marked this area. Right? Really simple. I think we can all kind of see the same thing there. We had consolidation. If we look over here, basically this was an area. If you were in this, put yourself in the shoes of the buyers here or the sellers. You're looking at this thing and you're saying, wow, this thing is consolidating here. Perhaps it's ready to go up, but it didn't do that. It actually broke through consolidation to the downside, even retested that area and continued lower. So now fast forwarding to where we currently sit, price popped up into that area once again. And I took that as an opportunity to go ahead and sell with the trend. Now, my initial stop loss was just above structure here. So my stop loss was about $100. It literally was, it was a very small trade. So about $100 stop loss just above structure, with the idea being that if price did not hold this level pretty quickly, I was going to go ahead and hop out and, maybe look for a chance to re-enter at a future time. But then we started moving down, and pretty standard, I would say. Price moves down about 1R. I go ahead and move that stop loss to break even. Okay, but now I'm going to show you guys what's happened since. And usually what I do for my trade management is I'll go take a look at the 1 hour chart. Let me just let you know, guys, that we are doing 40% off of the EdgeFinder. This is our tool, like I said, that we have been building on the backside of this YouTube channel. We have a team and an office, and we develop software. So if you would like access to the EdgeFinder for 40% off, we've lowered the price just for you guys here watching on YouTube, as we want to get some more people using the tool. We want some more feedback. We want to hear from you guys. So please do us a favor. If you would like to join the team of people that are using and studying the EdgeFinder, make sure to check the link down below in the description and use that promo code to get 40% off the A1 EdgeFinder for a limited period of time. That won't last forever, so check that out while you can get it down below in the description. So everyone has their different way of looking at things. Usually I will scout on the 4 hour and the 1 hour chart. So let's look at the 1 hour chart, and I want to show you something. So this hasn't moved a whole lot from my entry. It's about 1.5R right now, which is good. I'm happy to see that the trade is going in my direction. It does seem like we got a fairly good entry. Price had minimal to no drawdown from our entry, basically just kept going and going, which is great. But I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to manage this trade. Now, this is a small thing, but it's an important thing, okay? When we look at trades, our goal as traders is to take minimal risk for maximum reward. And when the market tells me something like it does right now, I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to trail my stop, and I'm going to put it somewhere very specific. I'm going to put it right here. Okay. And what I've done is a very small adjustment, but it's a very important adjustment. A lot of times people get very caught up in, trying to go for the max trade. They're focusing on, how far can it go? Where can I make the most money? But to me, it's like, okay, this market could still theoretically fly through the ceiling, right? It's not out of the question. I believe that this thing has a good chance to continue down, but We always want to be adjusting the trade and managing the trade properly because it could always do the unexpected. So what I just did there is I just trailed my stop from about a $15 profit if the market reversed to a $45, $44 profit. I know it's not a lot, it's a very small adjustment, but in the long run, if you're paying attention to what price is doing and you're using your clues just to lock in just a bit more on the scenarios where this thing goes back against you, in the long run, that's going to equate to a lot of money that you could have left on the table or not. So I'm just adjusting here just above this previous structure because now we'll draw this in, looking at the 1 hour chart. We really don't want to see price go back up above this, right? Because if that happens, we could just be headed back up into here and, you know, that would have been technically a nice higher low for the buyers, and we'd be very cautious with that. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you pay attention to your trade each day, you don't have to look at it all day long. This is a 1 hour chart, so I'm looking every couple hours to see what price has done. But I want to also point out to what drew my attention to it this morning. I saw price pop to the overbought reading on the RSI, which I know, careful, you know, people hate indicators. They get so mad when they see an indicator on my chart. Relax, it's okay. I'm not using it to like make a massive prediction about the market per se. All I use the RSI for really, once I'm in a trade management phase, is I'm basically looking for situations in which price comes up. If I'm short, right? If I'm selling this market and I would like to look to trail stops, which is what I tend to do, I'm going to look for opportunities where, or times where the market comes up, it has a chance to test an overbought reading, and reject it. And that's exactly what we've seen so far. We have seen the RSI pop up overbought, and then the market responds exactly how we would want it to respond as long as we're in a seller's market. Overbought gets sold, right? And that's what we saw. So that's a cue for me to go take a closer look at price and make a judgment call on where I want to move my stop to lock in a little bit more on the trade. Not a lot, not a crazy figure, just enough after we saw a bit of rejection. Now, that's really the important point that I wanted to get across to you guys. But let me talk one more thing. We have now talked about the trade management. Let's talk about where we could see things going. One little bit of a red flag here for me is that we did not get underneath this previous low. We tried, but now we're back into consolidation. So this is where I basically just say, hey, look, I don't know where the markets are going in the future. All I can do is react and make a best judgment call, basically. So for me, I need to see one of two scenarios. Either this thing breaks out higher and I am out for a profit, or this thing trends lower, breaks through the lows, in which case I will be more than willing to try and hold on to a winner and let this thing become a bigger win for the account. So all that said, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into trade management because so many people focus so heavily on getting the perfect entry, this and that, because it sounds so cool, right? Everybody wants to be a sniper entry master or whatever, right? Everybody talks about that on Instagram. It's really cool, but really, you know, the markets are far less predictable than I think people give them credit for. The markets are very volatile, very, you know, news driven, things change, you know, there's technicals, fundamentals, sentiment, emotions, there's so much that drives price around. And we don't know where the price is going to go with certainty in the short term. I'd say, you know, to me, it's like the best case scenario if I was to try and predict a price would be, you know, 55% of the time I could maybe get it right if I was really on it, right? So I don't really rely on being super good at predicting everything about where price is going. What I rely on more, not so much the entry, is the trade management. How do I keep a hold onto a good winner and potentially let it become a really, really good sized profit versus getting rid of losses quickly and trying to keep the danger zone away from my account, if that makes sense. That's just my take on it. I've been trading for a while, and that's just you know, my honest feedback is pay less attention to the entries. Entries, yes, they're important, but more important is the trade management. How do you manage your stop? How do you manage your take profit? How do you manage your you know, your risk? All of that stuff is way, way, way more important in my opinion than the actual entry itself. Just something for you to think about. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you back next time. Looks like it's time for your next trading video. Check out the videos here and here for more free trading content that should help you in your trading journey. We try and keep it real here, so make sure to subscribe for more content that is down to earth, realistic Forex trading content. See you in the next video.